What's an unethical way that people save money? I work downtown, in a city where monthly parking is easily $150 or more per spot. My wife and I both have to drive due to schedules, so it would be double that. Found out that the casino downtown gives you free parking daily if you bet $10. So we go and play roulette daily. She bets $10 on red and I bet $10 on black, and each ask for our parking validation. One of us always wins, which doubles one of the $10 bets. So we get our $20 back. Boom! Free parking. There's been the odd time it's hit zero. In that case, we each just lose $5 each and parking costs us $10 total for the day. I accidentally discovered that the laundry machines in my building take 20 euro-cent coins instead of the $2 coins. The last time I was in Germany, I saved as many as I could, and now a load of laundry costs about 50 cents instead of $4. Imagine the laundromat owner going to collect the change. Who the frick is depositing euros? I only found out about it when I paid $2 into the machine and it spat out the 20-cent piece. So somebody else out there is doing it too. They'll never catch me. I went to Thailand and the 10 baht coin looks nearly identical to the 2 euro coin, so I took a few. If I'm on a festival or in a club, I sometimes pay with them because everything is overpriced and dark anyway. I just don't use it in normal shops. They're around 25 euro cents each, so it's a great return on investment. I don't get how you guys are able to use similar-sized coins in vending machines. I have enough trouble getting the machine to accept the actually correct coin whenever I try, let alone one that's a bit different. I never got removed from an employee discount plan for a job I left almost 7 years ago. I get 25% off every month on my phone and internet. Similar but not unethical. My work pays me $40 a month for me to use my phone as my work contact number. My monthly bill is $35. When I was in 6th grade, they would give IOU slips to anyone that forgot their money for lunch. You were supposed to put your name and they would bill you later. I always wrote Cornelius Origami. My name is not Cornelius Origami. Poor Cornelius Origami. He got charged for so many lunches wrongfully. The financial burden caused him to eventually fold. I do like to imagine there's a cartoonish figure in this individual's town who's charged a fortune in lunch fees every month, and his monocle always pops out when he gets hit with the bill. When checking into a hotel, ask if they give Walmart employees a discount. More often than not, you get a 10% discount, and I've never been asked to prove it. Does this hotel give Walmart employees a discount? Yes, may I see your employee ID? I don't really work there, I'm just really curious about their employee benefits. I still use student discounts whenever I can. Not a student. I graduated in 2013. My senior year, they came up with a new ID card which doesn't expire until 2018. My college ID doesn't have an expiration date. I've been out of college nearly 4 years now and still use it. I buy my movie tickets at the automated kiosks in the theater, but I select the senior citizen's price. Spoiler alert, I'm not a senior citizen. The high school kid ripping tickets always gives a slight pause and then decides it's not worth the hassle to call me out on it. In the 90s, I was starting my last year of school. You could have school dinners paid for in advance termly by your parents, or you could bring a packed lunch. I was a packed lunch kid, but if you forgot your packed lunch, you could get a school dinner and pay for it the next day. One day, I forgot my lunch, so I got in the school dinner queue and waited to be served. I thought they'd realize I wasn't a school dinner child and tell me to bring the money tomorrow, but they didn't. The food was actually not bad, and the next day I tried my luck again. They just assumed my parents had paid and nobody bothered to check. I got free school dinners for about a year. At my school, they had free lunches for kids who were low income, but to avoid embarrassment, they were given cards that looked identical to everyone else's card. The computer would just not charge their account. My friend would just give his card to other people and they'd get free lunch. The system had no check to see if the same card bought 7 lunches in one day. I haven't bought paper towels in 2 years because I've been stealing napkins from Chipotle every week. I didn't say I ate there, guys, just that I take the napkins. And yes, it's a crappy thing to do. But isn't that kind of the point of this story grouping? Back when payphones were a thing, you could carefully shove the fat McDonald's straws into the change slot in my city and get free calls. Dollars to dimes, it was a homeless guy that figured this out, who just thought he'd try taking a sip of whatever fluid might have collected in the payphone's coin reservoir. Hey, you never know. Sneaking into meetings you're not invited to and stealing donuts and kolaches. I pretend that I'm gay. The gym I go to charges $50 less if you register as a couple and not as single. I don't have a significant other, so my best male friend and I registered as a gay couple. The first day, the manager almost asked us to make out to prove it. He decided it was homophobic, so he stopped. When we come in, he's always staring while we use the machines together, like he wants to catch us doing something sexual. This sounds like the plot for a ruckus buddy comedy. Starts out with the buds pretending to be a couple for the gym membership. Then they start doing other couple things to save money. Then they realize they're in love. A Frenchman here. Some people create groups where they give 5 to 10 euros a month. The subway in Paris costs about 60 euros a month, and they use the subway or other public transport without paying. When one of them gets caught, the group uses the money to pay the fine. So, like an insurance company for fare evasion. I'd be more worried about the guy running it taking the money and disappearing. When we were kids, we discovered the hotel by the beach had a free brunch thing on the top floor every day. You needed to use a keycard in the elevator to access the top floor, but we would go to the floor under it and walk up the last flight. I assume some kind of fire code restriction was why the stairs weren't key-coded. As dumb kids, we were greedy and went too often and got kicked out eventually, but it was nice while it lasted. They had a deal so that their guests could use the pool at the hotel next door too, and no one ever checked, so we would do that as well. I pay for Netflix. I have 3 friends who use the account. They always pay for pizza and snacks at any social gatherings. I've been a bit depressed and haven't spoken with my friend for a few weeks. He just changed the password, and I don't want to ask him what it is right away, because it's effed up that I'll only talk to him to get the Netflix password. In high school, I had a good friend who worked solo in a small fast food burger place inside a gas station, East Coast chain called Bullets. I would order a small side of fries and he'd give me $30 worth of chicken fingers, bacon burgers, onion rings, curly fries, etc. Over the summer, large groups of friends would go and order $10 worth of food and 12 people would eat like kings. We did this for years and nothing ever came of it except my friends and I all got fat during the summer, eating 4,000 calories from that place most days. Thanks, Christian, you're a bro. When I was a kid, one of my friend's mothers, a pediatrician, would dilute children's vaccines to save money. Rightfully, she lost her medical license. Jesus Christ! How much would that woman save by doing that? I can't imagine it would be more than one small shopping trip per month. And pediatricians are generally paid all right, aren't they? Insanity. When I got the cooked breakfast option from the canteen at work, you're allowed 5 items. I always take extra bacon and hide it under the beans. That's free bacon. In a similar note, the food court in my college only allows you to take 1 item out. I take 2 cookies at a time by hiding one in my pocket and eating one as I go out. All for those tasty frickin' cookies. When I was 8, I went with my mum to set up my first bank account after an uncle gave me £100 as a Christmas gift. He lived abroad, so I didn't see him often. For some reason, they set it up wrong, so the system recorded me as a member of staff. I'm now 29, and I still have the same bank account. And now, I get offered staff rates on loans and credit cards. It's great. Does anyone else use GameStop as a bank? I got really teed off with the US bank because I kept overdrafting my accounts even though I opted out of overdrafting. And the same thing happened with my credit union when I got a debit card. Now whenever I get paid, I go pre-order a whole crapload of games. Whenever I need money, I go to the nearest GameStop and ask for my money back on a game I don't want and make a withdrawal. The lines are shorter at GameStop than at the bank, and I can trade in old games and have money go straight into my savings account. GameStops are just as prevalent as banks in my town, and I work at a mall, so it's even more convenient than running an errand to the bank or using an ATM and getting charged. The GameStop people are starting to catch on that I'm just moving money around and only buying one pre-ordered game a year, if that, but there isn't crap they can do about it. The best part is, since I always pre-order every game coming out, I'm still guaranteed to get all of the exclusive content, whether or not I'm sure I want a certain game. It's like they're rewarding me for banking with them. I don't think GameStop is FDIC insured. Whole Foods gives a 5-cent discount if you bring your own bag. I pick up a single habanero pepper, free pepper. If someone went to all that trouble, I'd say go for it. If I'm planning on going out and fancy a certain restaurant, I go online maybe 2 weeks in advance, sign up to their mailing list, and give my birthday as being the day I'm planning on going. Most places give you some sort of freebie for your birthday. As a totally ethical aside to what this guy is doing, signing up for loyalty programs at any and all of your local restaurants will save you a ton of money when you go out. Every day I get email coupons for discounted food, BOGO deals, free appetizers or desserts, and of course the free birthday food. The week of my birthday is a tour of coupon redemptions. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below, and subscribe. In DC, we have a computer program that lets you pay for your Metro fare with pre-tax payroll deductions. In theory, you're supposed to have 2 Metro cards and only use the pre-tax card for commuting to and from work. I've never met a soul that carried said 2 cards. As some of you have pointed out, and I've now realized, there is no clear federal rule that demands this. That said, I've poked around on a few different employers' websites to see what the Smart Benefits form looks like, and many of them have similar language to this example, not from my employer but a different one. I buy my college textbooks as ebooks on Amazon. I remove DRM and convert them to PDFs. I return ebooks to Amazon claiming something along the lines of, I decided to drop the class, free college textbooks, super easy with Caliber. In most cases where that might not work, I can typically find a torrent, though I'm much more wary of these sources. At this point, it occurs to me that it may be necessary to warn you all, but do this at your own risk. It's not unheard of for Amazon to slam down the ban hammer if they're suspicious of fraudulent activity, and evidently, when it comes down hard. I commute to work by train and I have a subscription ticket for it. But I don't pay what I really have to. I have to change trains on my way, but the ticket really only is for one train route. No one checks all the zones marked on my ticket, only if the date is right. I first drove part of the way by car, but then decided to try and leave the car at home to save me some money. I didn't want to get a pricier ticket to just try it out for 1 week to see if it works, and I get to work on time. I was hoping I don't get controlled, and if I would, I'd come up with a stupid excuse that my car is in the workshop. However, I was controlled, but no problems, no questions. I then decided to always use the train for the whole way to work, even if I had to get a pricier ticket. But I just never got that pricier ticket. Decided to see how long I'd get away with it. So far, no problem. This saves me about £30 per month. I do this for about a year now, and my ticket gets checked almost daily. Servers almost always underreport cash tips to some extent. My wife and I go to the same university. She attends and I work there. A plus to me working there is that she attends for free. A single parking permit is $850 per person for 2 semesters. We didn't want to have to pay $1,700 for 2 permits, so here is what I did. 1. Purchased my own permit for $850. Go to the permit office 2 weeks later. At the beginning of the semester, the first 2 weeks are free parking, and I say that either, oh, I just sold my car and forgot I left the permit sticker on it, or I just had my windshield replaced and forgot to take off my permit sticker before they took the windshield. They charge me $40 for the replacement ticket and then mail it to me. And there we go. $890 for 2 permits is much better than $1,700 for 1. The only risk is that they scan the original permit's barcode because it was deactivated when I reported it as lost, but it's been 2 years of doing this trick and they haven't bothered to check it yet. I also used to heat the used stickers on my community college textbooks and sell the books back to the college and get a bit more money for them, because they weren't considered used without the sticker. Leave it to students and university personnel to find ways to scrimp and save. Respect, my friends. Let the rich kids make their parents pay these kinds of bills. My girlfriend never put her license plates on her car. 2.5 years into her lease and she still uses the dealer placeholder. This lets her use toll roads and fast lanes without paying. She's never been pulled over, but I bet that's going to be an awkward conversation someday with the way she speeds. Just to clarify, she does pay her registration and receives her plates. She just permanently stores them in her glove box. They are gonna tow her vehicle when she gets pulled. Self-service checkout at the supermarket. No, I don't have any bags. Rustle, rustle. You don't need to charge me 5 pence. Rustle, rustle, rustle. I bought my PlayStation 4 a little over a year ago, used. Netflix is still signed into the previous owner's account. I wonder if they ever think, who's watching this crap? Let's say you have a relatively new car, no older than 5 years, that needs new tires. Find a rental car company that has your same car and rent it for the day. Go home and swap your wheels with the new car. When you return the car, they don't check tire tread levels, and unless you swapped with bald tires, the mechanics probably won't notice. Also, you're a scumbag if you do this. I was buying makeup last month and used the self-checkout. When I scanned my eyeliner, the machine kept telling me to place the item into the bag. Turns out the eyeliner was too light to register, so I threw a heavier, more expensive piece of makeup into the bag instead, without scanning it. The machine was satisfied then. Got as much student loan as possible from the government, €20,000, even though I don't need it, since the interest rate is so ridiculously low, 0.01% at the moment. Since the inflation is higher than the interest rate, I'm saving money that way. So, my job sent me to Japan several times. The train system is interesting there, so we found fun ways to exploit the system. We figured out how to abuse the heck out of station passes. When you get on any train, you can buy a ticket to your destination, or you can buy a station pass, which is about 50 cents. When you get off, you scan the station pass and it calculates how far you've ridden and charges you the difference. When we got off the plane in Tokyo, we bought a dozen station passes for Tokyo Station. Then, when we arrived at our destination, about $100 fare from Tokyo, we purchased a month-long ticket between adjacent stations. This ticket will let you on and off the train at either of those stations for a month. It's very cheap because fare between two close stations is only a few bucks. Travel to Tokyo, hop on a base station, use month pass, hop off in Tokyo, use station pass. Cost for $100 ride, 50 cents. Travel home, hop on in Tokyo with station pass, hop off at base station with month pass. Cost for $100 ride, 50 cents. Also fun for sightseeing. You can ride the trains all over Japan for free as long as you don't leave the stations. Buy rotisserie chicken from a store, eat 3/4 of it, and return it claiming it was undercooked. I had a lady do this every week at a store I used to work at. I hated her with every ounce of my being. And that's why cooked chickens are $8.99 instead of $5.99. Fun facts, if you have a Costco membership, you can literally return anything. I worked in the bouquet department and we had a guy return flowers he bought the previous year's Valentine's Day, completely wilted and crumbly. He said they didn't last long and due to their return policy, we had to return it. I don't encourage taking advantage of this because Costco is a fantastic company to work for, but if you're in a bad situation, you can use it to your advantage. You really can return anything after any amount of time. My uncle was shopping for a new barbecue at Costco. He gets talking to the salesman, or someone about how his previous barbecue, which he bought at Costco, had worked for 10 years but was starting to go. They told him to return it and exchange it for a new one. He did that, and they accepted it, after 10 years of use. As a college student, stealing silverware from the dining hall has saved me a lot of money. Plot twist, your tuition is covering the cost of replacing silverware stolen by previous students. So really, then you're losing money if you don't steal the forks. Some of these stories have made the narrator aware for the first time of the completely normal fact of life of prices being inflated to adjust for the risk of theft. You jerks, I'm paying more because of you? If I can't find it on demand for free or on Netflix, I'm pirating it. The problem is that I wouldn't mind watching something on a TV channel most of the time, but I'm not going to pay $15 a month just so I can watch one TV show at the time the TV channel broadcasts it with ads. For half the price, you have Netflix. I can legally share Netflix, so it's only $4. It's full HD and 5.1 sound as well. What's the downside? Nothing. So I'm simply not going to pay that much. What's the point of that? Sometimes, when the bus driver isn't looking, I put in $2 and a nickel instead of $2 and a dime. Oh, you disgust me. Someone else is paying for my internet. A few months ago, I went online to see why I haven't been getting a bill, expecting to see a huge balance and a disconnect notice. Instead, I see my account is set up for autopay, with someone else's credit card. This has been going on for a little over a year, and I do not intend to raise any flags about it. In my city, you can either load a monthly subscription or just load a set amount of money into your bus pass. A monthly is $100. So when I was busing to work, I used to just load $50 and not tap my card on morning rides. I would only tap on my way home because the Trainspo cops were more likely to be patrolling in the afternoons. Now I drive to work, but the monthly parking pass is $200. Ain't nobody got time to pay for that, so I just park on the side of the street where there are 2-hour parking zones. But I usually don't move my car every 2 hours. It seems those rarely get checked because in the 2 months I've been doing this, I've only got 2 tickets. At $50 a ticket. It's still the cheapest option, but I don't even bother paying the tickets because I work in a different province than the one I live in. And as far as I can tell, there's no collaboration between the two vis-a-vis traffic tickets, so they don't follow up to make sure you've paid it. Not exactly unethical, but I dumpster dive. This year, I've picked up a microwave, a nearly new $200 DeLonghi espresso maker, a 52-inch Sanyo TV, technically a dumpster, and everything in it is private property. My landlord likes me a lot because I've been in the same house for 5+ years renting, so I get 2 parking spaces included for free. I only have 1 car, so I've been renting the other spot to different neighbors for $65 a month. Free parking and $780 a year for no work on my part. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, or if you want some vibey music to put on in the background, check out Easy Mode. If you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot. Everything linked in the description.